I decided to do a presentation through video instead of PowerPoint because it's a little more personal, and then that way I can show you my home and my family, which is the basis of my culture. Because I guess I've always been raised that family's first. With both sides of my family, feel that that's the most important. A little background about myself. I'm in the Generation Y, I think. 1987. Grew up, I guess you could say, in the better part of the 90s. I grew up in Maryland. I'm a United States citizen, and it was in a rural middle class. I didn't grow up on the coast or the mountains. Kind of in the plains and the hills area. A lot of farmland around. Anywhere you drove about 45 minutes out, you'd be in some kind of city type area, but for the most part where I was, it was a big deal when we got a Walmart. I grew up with a family of, both my parents were married before they married and had me, so they each had a child from their previous marriage. That's my brother and my sister. My brother and I are only 4 years apart, but my sister and I are 13 years apart, so her and I, and she grew up mostly with her mother, so we're very close, but we have a lot of differences, and didn't have that closeness of growing up together like me and my brother. I'm very fortunate now living in Virginia. I live a few miles away from my brother. Little background on my mom and mom's family and culture. They feel it's very important to stay next to each other and together and never separate. So my grandmother has a house right here. My aunt, she had 3 children. My aunt lives on one side of the house. My uncle lives on the other, and then my mom's house is a mile down the road, and she's actually currently taking care of my grandmother in my grandmother's home right now, since my grandfather passed about 2 years ago. So being close is very, very important to my family. My dad's side of the family is very similar. They're a little bit more spread out, a couple hours away from each other. But it's every year we get together for Christmas, and it's just my grandmother has 4 boys and a girl, and it's just all the grandchildren, all the cousins. We all look after each other, and if anyone needs anything, we're always there for one another. Just probably one of the biggest things about me is my family. Another big part of me and my culture and my beliefs is being a Christian, and gone through several different churches, several different kinds of denominations throughout my life. But right now I'm going to a Pentecostal, but I grew up mostly in a non-denominational church and absolutely loved it. I love a lot of the thoughts and actions and things. My decisions now really have to do with things that I learned in that church growing up, and how it influenced my life, and the women I was blessed with, so to be around. So I guess that's just a big part of my culture. When it comes to healthcare, my religious beliefs don't really affect my choices for healthcare, other than the fact that I do believe in a higher power, and I'm not scared of death, and I do believe that things happen for a reason, and we all have a purpose and a time to go, and it's not, I'm able to cope with death a little bit differently than some others who may not have that religious belief. And I feel that's important to have some kind of coping mechanism for death, because it is very hard. When we lost my grandfather, it was really hard on our family, but you could just, he was a pastor, and you could see everyone was just, his funeral, instead of it being a sad time, which it was in remembrance, but everyone was so joyous because we all believe that he's going to heaven. And I have 2 beautiful children that I'll show you in a second. I'm in my son's room right now, one good example is the artwork behind me of my fiance's family. How I came home, I was 38 weeks pregnant. You probably could relate to me at this point. This was in August. The heat, it's terrible. And I came home from 3 days of being in Charlottesville for work, and I hadn't got the nursery ready, nothing ready, and he had started painting a mural over the entire wall, or 2 walls, and I was just like, what are you doing? And he's not an artist, and and I just got so upset because I couldn't. Kylie, I told you gotta wait, okay? I'll be out in a minute. Anyways, sorry. No, Kylie, you can't come in, and please, 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 please don't get in trouble. Thank you. So, and as you having your first baby, you only have this to look forward to. More and more and more distraction. But anyways, congratulations, by the way. So, like I was saying about the mural behind me, my fiance's mother used to paint in their rooms, and she's an artist, and that was how she showed love. But me at 37, 38 weeks pregnant, I couldn't really appreciate it that much because I couldn't get into the nursery that I needed to have ready, and I was ready to go, ready to pop, and everything was everywhere, and I was so upset because he hadn't finished it, and I didn't even know he was going to do it in the first place. But the reason why I bring that up is because it's a good example of our cultural differences. I didn't grow up with, beautiful paintings on the walls, and I'm kind of jealous. I kind of wish I did now. My mother-in-law came a few weeks, just a week or 2 later, and she actually ended up, after Colton was born, working on it and finishing it that it is now. And she did a castle in my daughter's room. I'll actually show you if you like. But as of other cultural child rearing, I wanted to go over that too. My family, we did positive reinforcement, but also anytime my brother and I got in trouble, especially if it was together, we had to hold hands, sit on the couch. We do similar things for Kylie, but not with her brother Colton yet. They don't have any animosity towards each other, but she has to sit in timeout, and she does get disciplined for things that she does wrong. We definitely do not. She goes. It can progress in discipline depending on what she's done, but it's never. I usually try to go by what her age limit and what she can handle. So she's not typically in timeout for forever, but she's actually a decent kid because we've treated her that way. And I think that my battery's gonna die, I guess that says. Anyways, so yeah, it says the battery's gonna die. Well, going back through, I hope it doesn't die while we're doing this. My fiance and I, we both have the similar, growing up, we were punished for things we did bad, and we were rewarded for things we did good. We both believe in teaching Kylie ourselves, and even right now our children don't have to go to daycare, thankfully, because I get off at 4:30 at work every day and he goes in at 5, so our children get to have us all the time. Our daughter Kylie, she goes to daycare twice a week just to get familiar with being around children other than just being by herself. But you'll see when we get out here that she's in a princess dress, and I like for her to be able to express herself. That was always important in my family. My family was always very supportive of being creative and just being who they are, being who you are. As for healthcare and healthcare decisions and how my culture relates to healthcare, I guess I touched on one, which is, we have the belief of going to heaven, but when it comes to, we don't have any issues with receiving blood or anything like that, but I know for me personally, I wouldn't want to be kept on a ventilator. Working on getting an advanced directive, but I wouldn't want to be kept on a ventilator if I was, or considered brain dead. But other than that, I mean, I would want them to try their hardest into saving me. Cultural wise, I mean, the way our American hospitals are set up now, that's what I'm used to. I know in the book that we're reading, It just amazed me just in the beginning of the book when they were describing how Leah was born, and just the perspective it was for the Hmong. It just seems like another world for them, and I can't imagine how we're used to the machines and the, you know, and especially me being a nurse, I'm really used to the hospital atmosphere. I cannot imagine coming in from a culture like the Hmong into a realm as ours, or vice versa, having a baby in the middle of the floor, you know, coming out into the dirt. I just can't imagine, and then burying their placenta. I just can't imagine that. It would be a huge shock for me, but I do think that this project is good because it has made me reflect on my culture and all our discussion questions, because and I feel like it's going to make me a better nurse to know, now that I've reflected back, because you really, especially as an American, you feel like, oh, well, we don't have culture, we're just American, but we really do, in my opinion. I have lots of culture. It's not an ethnicity that's been around for, you know, thousands of years, but it's a whole bunch of cultures mixed together that made me who I am, and experiences too. So thank you for listening, and I'll give you a little tour and show you my children. Hopefully the camera won't die, and I hope you're doing well in your pregnancy. So I'll show you this is Colton's room. He's got a waterfall and a jungle. We did like the jungle theme. And then I'll take you into Kylie's room. And apparently Colton's fussing. This is Kylie's castle. This is my daughter Kylie. What's wrong, honey? What is it?
Daddy made me worse.
Daddy made you what?
Worse.
Worse? What's wrong?
She didn't listen, so she got punished.
She didn't listen, so she got punished. Okay, this is my messy living room. This is my fussing son. We spit up. Say hello. Can you smile? Can you smile for me? Can you smile? Maybe she'll give me an A if you smile. Maybe. Yeah.
Where's the baby? Where's that baby?
He needs his mama time. He had to be in the swing. And apparently she